So today we're going to look at the birth chart for Whitney Houston, born August 9th, 1963 at 20 hours 55 minutes, born in Newark, New Jersey. And if you were to we're going to use transformational Vedic astrology, a very direct form of Vedic astrology. We're going to, if we looked at the eastern horizon when she was born, you would see the constellation associated with Aquarius rising at 15 degrees. 15 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. So any planet like Venus, like Mercury, like Mars, that's within 5 degrees of that most effective point has a lot of impact in that person's life. So, first we'll look and see how the planets are operating. Then we'll look at when the planets are operating because not everything happens at all at once. And then we'll look and see what we can do to um, improve that chart. So first, let's see how Sun is operating. So first of all, any multicorna signs, which are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11, that are found in the sixth house, the eighth house, or the 12th house, their rulers become functional malefic planets along with Rahu and Ketu for every chart. So here we see Cancer in the sixth house, ruled by Moon. Moon becomes functional malefic. Here we see the sixth sign, Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mercury becomes functional malefic. So let's see. Sun is at 23 degrees and it is ruling the house of relationships and partnerships. And it is placed in the house of conflicts and health issues. So it says that there can be some conflicts in marriage and in partnerships. And so she had a very, really troubled marriage with Bobby Brown. So that is reflected there. Moon is at 23 degrees. It's functional malefic. And it is ruling this house of conflicts and health issues. And it is placed in the house, second house of wealth, fame, and continuation of the marital bond. So again, it gave some instability to her marriage, but did give her the ability to sing. This is the house of singing and wealth and fame with an emotional aspect to it. Moon is water, emotions. And it is conjunct Jupiter. We'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, and it gave some conflict with mother. Moon is mother as well, but gave her singing abilities, emotional, the ability to convey emotion through her voice. Very powerful voice, very, very beloved singer. Mars is at 15 degrees. It is ruling the house of performing arts, healing arts, success through expression, um, business, and communication. So Mars is placed in the eighth house. Eighth house is obstacles, research, vulnerability. So that vulnerability shows up in her singing, which makes her a very authentic singer. And it gives passion and courage to her singing, her artistic abilities. And also spiritual singing. She was a gospel singer. And then Mercury is at 16 degrees. 15 degrees, remember, is close to the most effective point. So it had a lot of impact in her life. Mercury is at 16 degrees. It is ruling this house of vulnerability and conflicts and issues in marriage and ability to research. And it's placed in the house of partnerships. So again, it gives Mercury's intellect and critical nature. So critical nature in relationships, vulnerability in relationships. So she had a very tempestuous marriage. Jupiter is at 26 degrees. It is ruling the house of income and friendships, and it is placed in the house of wealth, uh, fame, and continuation of the marital bond. So Jupiter is also a husband. So husband was famous, and this is also representing children. She had a child, or more. I can't remember, and one or more, and it is conjunct Moon, so it gives emotional aspect to the marriage, the continuation of the marital bond, and it is also aspected by Saturn, one, two, three. So Saturn is in this house of addiction, and so gave some addiction in the marriage with the husband, and this emotional nature to the marriage. Venus is at 17 degrees, close to the most effective point, ruling the house of good fortune and spirituality and education. And it is placed in the house of health and conflict. So, good fortune through beauty and through Venus's performing arts and healing arts. So, good fortune through, and Venus placed in this house of ability. She had the ability to heal through her singing, through her performing arts, and gave her great beauty. She was very beautiful. Saturn is at 26 degrees. Again, it's placed in this 12th house of losses, expenses, imprisonment, separation, feeling separate, feeling, and Saturn itself is service. So she felt her singing was service to the community, gospel singing. And Saturn, this also brings some instability in relationships and addiction in relationships. So it is ruling the house of health, longevity, and life purpose. So placed in this house gave her shorter lifespan and life purpose through spiritual singing. This is the house of enlightenment, spiritual growth through letting go of attachments. Now, Rahu and Ketu, they're close to the most effective point as, no, they're not, excuse me. But Rahu is afflicting Saturn. So, yeah, afflicting the longevity. Saturn itself represents longevity, and it's ruling the house of longevity. So, Rahu, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's actually not afflicting that, but Saturn is there, placed in that house of end of life. So, um, gives her that ability to the spiritual singing and the addictions. So those are the main thing. Now let's look at when the planets were operating. So she got married during a Jupiter sub period, or Sun, excuse me, a Sun sub period. So that's had to do with relationships. Then she had a child. Let's see, in 93 during a Jupiter sub period. She got a Grammy during a Sun sub period, and also it was a Jupiter period as well. So, so income of award. Let's see here. And she was arrested in 2000 and also beaten during that time. So by her husband, and that was during a Saturn period, sub period. She got a divorce in 2006, no, 2003, and that was during a, let's see, these are the dasha periods. During a K2 period. So K2 would be unexpected, unplanned events during that period. Now, let's see. She overdosed in February 11th, 2012. So let's look at the transit chart. February 11th, 2012. We see that K2, which is very close to the most effective point, it's 17, most effective point is 15, so high impact. And whenever Rahu and Ketu are close to the most effective point, they afflict 6 out of the 12 houses. So Ketu, unexpected events, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Afflicting the house of death-like experiences, 6, 7, 8, 9. End of life experiences. So yeah, so a lot of death occur when the rising sign degree is close to Rahu and Ketu. Let's see, Saturn. Saturn is, it's also afflicting natal Saturn. So yeah, that's um, longevity, cut short the lifespan. So those are the main things for the events. Now let's look at what we could do to improve this chart. So we want to transform Moon, Mercury, Rahu, and Ketu. So Moon by helping women on Mondays, listening to Shiva chants on Mondays, helping children, Mercury, on Wednesdays, listening to Vishnu chants on Wednesdays. K2, we want to help spiritual organizations and listen to Ganesh chants. Rahu, we want to listen to Shiva chants and help through charity. Those will transform the malefics. We don't want to strengthen the malefics, but we do want to strengthen the rest of the planets. So that can be done with a kavash containing the Devata yantras for each of the planets. Or we can wear orange colors on Sunday, do Surya Namaskar on Sundays. We could wear, we don't want to wear white clothing because we don't want to strengthen the moon, but Mars, we could wear red clothing on Wednesdays, red coral. We could wear green on, no, we don't want to wear, we don't want to strengthen Mercury, but yellow on Thursdays and white on Fridays. So those are the ways to strengthen the planets. But the best way is the kavash. Otherwise, you could wear diamond, yellow sapphire, red coral, and rubies. So these are the points for the chart for Whitney Houston. May she rest in peace. And if you're interested in a reading, you can go to www.vastucreations.com under services, under astrology. Or if you want to learn about transformational Vedic astrology, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com, where we actually certify people in this type of Vedic astrology, which is really gets to the heart of a chart very quickly. Thank you for listening. Yep.